Hey everybody, welcome back to 12-Minute Meals. I'm Chef Matt Briggs, and I'm in my kitchen today. Welcome back to my kitchen. Please excuse the hair. I just got the kids back from the pool in this 113-degree weather, and they're hungry. So got no shoes on. I'm cooking in socks, and this little thing on my face today, kind of uncomfortable. I'm not used to wearing one of these, but we had a little technical errors with the lapel mic, so we're going with this today. But I kind of feel like a spin instructor, right? It's like, come on, crank up that tension. We're gonna start this climb. Come on, people, move it. So kind of feel like an instructor today. But we're going to go through what we've got in our refrigerator. So what I want to do today, the kids are hungry, and I've got some leftovers in the fridge. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a little fried rice, just what we have. So if you're like me, when I cook for my family, I always do way too much rice, or I always cook way more than I need. It's just a habit of working in the kitchen. Got some pork chops that are left over that I pulled out of the freezer yesterday. So those are going to be pork fried rice, and then green beans, peppers, some green onions for garnish, broccoli. Now, we're using chopped garlic today because I don't feel like chopping up the garlic, and we're not doing like the pasta. Sliced was very nice, and it looks good, and it gives it some texture. We don't need that today. My kids call these candy carrots, but just the baby carrots in the package. We're going to do another half an onion. I'm going to use olive oil today. You can use any oil. Canola oil is good. Not a lot of people like peanut oil. My wife loves the olive oil because it's healthier than anything else. So we're going to go with that rather than canola today. And then we've got some gluten-free organic soy sauce that we're going to use. So we're going to start our 12-minute meal. And it's going to be mostly just cutting vegetables and prep, but I've already got my pan hot. Now, I'm using the same brazier as last time, and I'm not going to use a wok. I used to have a wok years ago, and through the moves, I just lost it. I didn't feel that, it was just taking up space at one point, but it was gone. It's gone. So we're going to use that because if you don't have a wok, who cares, right? You got pans in your pantry or in your cupboard, just pull those out. Make sure they're hot, though. To a stir fry, they've got to be hot. And you're going to look at this and go, wow, why is he using so much oil? That's kind of what a stir fry is, and that's what fried rice is. It's fried, right? So you need a lot of oil. So one thing I need to grab before I do anything else, I got to get some eggs out of the refrigerator. Forgot my eggs. And nice brown organic eggs. And then we're going to start. And she's sitting, my daughter's sitting here telling me, you got to start. You're not going to get it in 12 minutes. The cooking part's 12 minutes. The video is probably going to go over. All right? So the cooking part is 12 minutes. So we're going to start 12. I was going to get a timer out, but my son took my phone because I'm using his phone to film today, okay? Because these don't plug into mine. So here we go. You ready to go? We're going to start by doing the pork because we want to get that going right off the bat. And she's got that up high. We're going to get this pan up high. Now I'm going to cut this pork kind of small into small diced bits. And it's already kind of clean. It's a pork loin, right, with the bone still on it, on a couple of these pieces. Now, if you're looking at this and going, wow, what kind of pork chop is that? Well, if this was going to be a piece of beef, it would be the prime rib of the pork with the bone on. So it would be a bone-on ribeye or prime rib with the bone on. So I'm going to take the bone off. This I'll put in the oven later, just like that, at a high temperature, and I'll cook them for the dogs. I'll let the dogs chew on them. Or I'm sure some of you out there are going, no, I want that. I'm going to season it up, and I'm going to chew on that bone. Well, that's fine. I would do that too, but I don't know. It's just, I like to treat my dogs well because that's usually the only treat they get is when I bring home bones from the restaurant. Okay? So I'm going to get this going because I want this to be nice and cooked and get a lot of color on it before I start throwing in my vegetables and everything else. So move this out of the way. And then I'm going to, lots of olive oil. Look at this. Ooh. Keep going. You're looking at it going, wow. Okay, he said he was going to use a lot. Is he going to stop now? I'm not going to stop now. Okay, am I going to stop now? Yes, now we're going to stop. As my son would say, he'd say, wait for it, and then we'd do it. Okay, so I'm going to put this in. Don't slam it in there because it might splatter on you, so just be careful. Pull out your wooden spoon. I love wooden utensils just because they don't leave any residual behind. A lot of times if if your plastics aren't real heat resistant, a lot of times they'll melt right into your stuff. So I'm gonna go wash my hands, get this pork off my hands. So wash the hands. Pork is sizzling away. I'm going to flip over my cutting board, okay, so that the pork is on the back side, and we'll get it all nice and washed a little bit later. But right now, I'm going to start in on my aromatics and my vegetables, okay? So I like to cut it in half, take both ends off, peel the onion. I'm going to do it the same way I did it last time. Well, I'll show you something that the chefs like to do. They like to come in here, and they like to come down through it like that, which is good. This is the professional French culinary way of doing it, chef's way of doing it. Come through like that. But for this stir fry, and when it's just for your kids and everybody at home, I don't think you need to do that. That gets you nice, perfectly sized. And I just got my foot hit by a piece of flying onion. You know, even professionals screw up sometimes. I mean, I've been doing this for 20 years, and I still drop stuff on the floor, especially when I'm trying to move fast. All right, see how this is getting a little brown on the edges? We're just going to let that sit for just a few more minutes. I'm going to slide my onions over because I want those. Once I start adding the onions, we're going to start adding water to it, right? So the water is going to keep your vegetables from brown, or vegetables, excuse me, your pork from browning. You don't want that, right? You want a nice color, caramelized color on it, give it some flavor. So maybe I could have turned my pan on a little bit sooner, but that's okay. But that oil is nice and hot, and it's going to do the trick, so I'm not too worried about it. All right, so this is broccoli. We're just going to do the candied carrots. I like to make these big because my son, even though he eats carrots like this, he won't eat them when they're in something. I put them in rice before. I put the carrots in a stir fry like this, in the fried rice, or just when I do regular white rice, and he picks them out, or he asks me to pick them out because he doesn't like cooked carrots. I don't get it. Kids are weird. But I am still... There we go. We don't need too much, but we're still going to use a good amount. Okay. Let's throw in the onions. And what else are we going to throw in? All right, let's get some garlic in there. Take my spoon. Now, I like garlic, but, you know, if you talk to Emeril Lagasse, he'll say there's no such thing as too much garlic. And that was a big, I don't know, what do you want to say? That was a big saying back in the 90s and early 2000s when he was coming up and he got popular. Everybody's like, no, there's no such thing as too much garlic. Well, guess what? There is such thing as too much garlic because I've done it before and I know I've made that mistake. So we're going to cut these green beans down just a little bit. These are raw green beans. Just, what are they? Jolly Green Giant green beans. This is what my wife picked up, and the kids love them usually when we just throw them in the oven and roast them with some salt and pepper and olive oil. They're really good that way. And we did that last night. We had rice and some other things, but tonight we're going to do the pork fried rice, and it's going to be delicioso, as they say in French. And I'm going to pick up all my stuff I dropped. There we go. So let's check on this in here. Everything's looking nice and greasy for now, but don't worry. All that rice is going to soak up all that grease. You don't have to worry about that. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to drop everything else in now. Okay, as I spill it all over my counter. All over my counter. And I got a little soundtrack in the background tonight. I've got the Big Night soundtrack working on my Alexa, inspiring me, even though I'm not doing Italian. I'm still going to enjoy my night. So, oh, she thought I was talking to her. All right, next up. Well, all this is cooking. We're just going to do a little at a time. Now I got my peppers. Now, if you're doing big peppers, I think you guys, everybody knows how to seed a pepper, right? I don't need to do a small pepper, do I? What was that? I do? Okay, well, this is what I do when I seed a pepper. Cut the ends off. Cut it down the middle. Whoop. One little slice, open it up, and then cut the spines out, or not the spines. Yeah, spines, what do we call them? Spines? I don't know. then you get all the seeds out at the same time. Okay, it's very simple. And then you can do a julienne, or just what we call a baton cut, a bâtonnet. That was not a julienne, it was too big. But just cut it down a few seeds, nobody's going to care, right? It'll all get lost in the saute anyway. All disappears in the frying pan. Peppers in. All right, now what makes this cool, and my wife didn't know this, she used to put the whole thing together and then the rice and everything, and then just drop the eggs right on top of the rice. I said, no, baby, that's not how you do that. We're going to put the eggs in, let the eggs fry. Watch this. See? Everybody knows how to do it, but to show off with one hand. Uh-oh. You guys looking at that? Look. Oh, we got a shell. I'm not as good as I thought I was. We're going to do two hands this time. I know, I'm terrible. All right, I'm getting a 1 minute signal from my daughter. But I don't think that's true because, remember, we started late. Because I talked too much. So. All right. I'm going to let those fry up a little bit, scramble them. And I put them in the middle because I don't want them to coat all the vegetables. I want them to cook. And then once it's almost all the way cooked, then I'm going to throw in my rice. So I'm going to let that sit there. And it coats a little bit, which is fine. You know, don't take me literally saying, wait a minute, he let it touch the vegetables. I don't want to hear that kind of stuff. And by the way, hey, everybody, thanks for all the kind words on my page, on my wife's page, about the last video. It's very nice. It made me feel really good. And I know your parents must have taught you what my mother taught me was, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. So that's very nice of you, and I really appreciate it. And it kind of made me not nervous about doing the next one, okay? So it's it's fun. I like doing it. I got my daughter here filming me because she's wonderful. And I've got my wife who's encouraging me to do more of these. I got my son who's actually being quiet. He's 5, so you know how hard it is to keep a 5-year-old boy quiet and out of the room. Just hand him a screen usually, right? All right, and then we add in the rice. I got it. I'll take that. Thank you. So I just stick it in there, break up the rice. Now what I want to do with this is, what's fun about fried rice is it's nice to get a little bit of a crust on it. Let me flip all that egg through it like that. Now if you notice, I haven't seasoned it at all yet. It's going to be very bland. The rice, when I cooked it last night, I seasoned quite liberally because my daughters, you know, they like it seasoned. I don't want them to have to break out the salt because they'll kill it. But if you ask my wife, lately I've been over seasoning everything. So she gets really upset when I do that because lately, I don't know what it is. Since this whole COVID thing started, maybe I'm losing my sense of taste. I don't know. But I've just been over salting. And she's like, you gotta take it easy. Okay, so the seasoning we're going to do here is going to be the soy sauce. And we're going to do that at the very end. But I want this rice, I want the starches to kind of get a little brown, a little crispy. All right, so it's just going to be a second. I'm going to let that go. And while we're doing that, I want to just, once again, I want to say thank you to everybody who watched the video, who subscribed to the page, and who had nice things to say. Also, the pasta we did, one of my wife's friends, she did a little video of her own on her story, and she showed us what she did, and she added shredded chicken and broccoli to the same recipe, which the recipe I did, that's just the guideline. Just like this is a guideline. You can do whatever you have. You can do chicken fried rice. You can do a beef fried rice. You can just do stir fry and put the rice on the side. But this is what I had left over in my refrigerator from the last 2 nights of dinners. So that's why I did this. And if you look at my refrigerator, it's about 90% vegetables, 5% protein, and then the other 5% is leftovers. Very little starches. Oh, that's not true. I guess it would be like 90% vegetables, 5% protein, and 5% cheese, if that counts as a protein. All right, now we're going to do soy sauce. I'm not going to go crazy on the soy sauce because my kids will go crazy on the soy sauce as soon as this goes on their plates. And that's it right there. Now, I could let this cook a little bit longer because I can feel it sticking to the bottom of the pan, which is good. I like that. That means it's getting caramelized and the rice is getting crispy. which is what I like. But I don't know. You have to decide for yourself what your kids will eat and what your husband will eat and what your wives will eat and what your in-laws will eat and what your mom will eat, all that stuff. So, and that, as they say, is the dish, everybody. So I'm going to do a little of this. And then as soon as I spoon this out, I'm going to take over the camera and I'm going to let my daughter Abby finish up. She's going to garnish with a little green onion. I bet you everybody's wondering, hey, what's he going to do with the green onion? All right, I'm taking it. Here comes Abigail. She's going to go get her perfect little purple knife that she got when she was 4 years old. I bought her own knife. You get that out of the way. Just one should be good. And she's been using it. I mean, one time when she was 4 years old, don't turn me in for child endangerment, but I let her use a knife to cut radishes, and she sliced her finger. And she was so scared that I was going to be mad at her. She didn't want to cry when she showed me that she cut herself, and it broke my heart that she thought I was going to be mad that she wasn't. And I was like, you're 4 years old, kiddo. I turned my back for 1 second. There you go, you guys. There's the dish. Look at that. Just simple fried rice, 12 minutes or so. I'm still working on the format in the 12 minutes. Cindy, does that look delicious?
Yeah.
It looks delicious. Abby, thank you for filming. Thanks for helping out. Take this back. And if you want, you could, please, we're just trying this out. So subscribe at my...
Channel.
What's it called? My YouTube channel. All the ingredients are posted down below. Check me out at Twitter at ChefChanceMB and at BriggsButterCake.com and also Chef Matt Briggs on Facebook. But until next time, thanks for watching. And remember, don't burn the garlic.